Hi, I'm your host Vasco Duarte. Welcome to the Scrum Master Toolbox podcast, where we share tips and tricks from Scrum Masters around the world. Every day, we bring you inspiring answers to important questions that all Scrum Masters face day after day. Hello everybody, welcome to our Success Thursday. This week we have with us Rafał Witaszek. Hey Rafał, welcome back.
Hi Vasco, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, Rafał, on Thursdays, we talk success, and as many of our listeners already know, we first start with, what's your favorite retrospective format and why?
So, my favorite retrospective format is the one that can be actionable at the end of the session. So, depends on the situation. I'm using a different type of retrospectives, as many of Scrum Masters. So, for example, when I want the team to embrace the good things that happened, something great happened during the sprint, sometimes I use L4 retrospective. So what we liked, learned, lacked, or longed for. And that's really good. For example, when we had new project, new technology, then people can share their learning and be happy about it. And as learning is one of the parts, one of the deliverables from our sprints. And the next one that I really like, but that's used in different kind of situations, Starfish. So that's a good one for me in my context when we would like to embrace some changes, because we embrace or evaluate the changes that we have. Then we can discuss of what we should do less, more of the things that we introduce, and then we can stop doing things or start doing things. So that's especially good when we introduce something like 2-3 sprints ago, and we would like to review how things are going, right? And hear from the team. So that's my tip for
Absolutely. I really like how you talk about different needs, different formats. We've talked about it here also on the podcast, but it's never too much to emphasize that certain formats emphasize different aspects of the reflection and the improvement that is needed. And it's upon us as Scrum Masters to at least make the teams familiar with it. And then later on, when they're mature enough, they can choose their own formats, obviously. But it's very important to experience different formats, to experience different types of retrospectives. Some are more focused on what went well, right? Like the recognition, the appreciation. Some are more focused on exploiting some problems as opportunities for growth and learning. Others are more focused on analysis, what happened, what can we deduct from that, what are some things we need to maybe explore further in the next few sprints. And some are more like team building, like some of our guests have mentioned the walk by the lake retrospective, of the picnic retrospective, or the Friday at the local terrace retrospective, right? So it's very important to recognize that retrospectives are there to fulfill many different roles, all around the motivation to improve and get better, but there's many different roles that these retrospectives play. So thank you for reminding us of that, Rafał.
Yeah, it's important to read the team and the dynamic of the sprint and the team, and then inspect and adapt.
Indeed, inspect and adapt. So, and we inspect and adapt, of course, also on our own work as Scrum Masters, because we want to be successful. We want to have a positive impact as Scrum Masters. So do share with us, Rafał, what's your definition of success for yourself as a Scrum Master?
My success for myself being a great Scrum Master is being Scrum Master of great team, right? So great team deliver great products, and that's the basic. And what does it mean? It's there are a few measurements definitely that or few symptoms that you can say if you work in the chatty team, that people are really happy to share their weekend experience or their passions, what they are doing. That's definitely great metrics for the team, if the team is doing good things or not. From more, let's say, business-oriented metrics is predictability. So if the team can deliver, for example, the things that we predict for ourselves. So if our measurements are getting better, we are better, let's say, in evaluating our capabilities for delivering on value and customer satisfaction, of course. So positive feedback from customers during the sprint review. Definitely, that's one of the key aspects, because then it tells us that we are going in a good direction, and what we are doing, it makes sense in the bigger picture, right? So we are not only feature factory, but we are delivering good value for our users, stakeholders, and business partners. Definitely, that's something important. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, bring it to the team. So I follow the team, ask them, guys, what is the most important for us, right? So what we would like to measure, and how do we know that within next year, next quarter, we are better than we are today? And if the team is making progress in that direction, I'm really happy, and I'm using all my skills and agile toolbox to help them to reach that point, that the team feels happy and feels that we are going in the good direction, and they are excited about the path that we are undertaking together.
Yeah, and those questions and metrics, as you described them, are very important for us to also do like a regular feedback check, right? Like, so when you said bring it to the team, one aspect of bringing it to the team is also to talk about, okay, so how do you feel about the quality of our retrospectives? How do you feel about the quality of your relationship with the stakeholders? And using that as I mean, you asked, is the team happy? Are they confident in their path, right? And this is a very important feedback point for us as Scrum Masters, because if the answer is no, this is an opportunity for us to come in and help them, right? So what's preventing you from being happy? What's preventing you from being confident in your path, and start the conversation from there? I think very often we are kind of focused on metrics as something that tells us what the reality is, when in fact, very often metrics are there only as triggers for us to explore what is really going on, right? Exactly. If everybody says, yeah, I'm happy, don't worry, Rafał, you can go on your weekend or your vacation, we'll be fine without you, then you go like, okay, I don't need to worry. But if they say, Rafał, don't go on vacation, then you go like, this is interesting. What's going on?
Yeah, so yeah, it's not like that. I'm really focused on some kind of hard data, as you mentioned. Those metrics very often, those are lagging indicators, so they are not something that will help us in the future. So one of the things for me is that I pay attention within the team is that if the team is able to have creative and positive conflict, so we just do not agree with each other, and we can have healthy conversation about that. So the team is not constructed from the yes men or quiet people that, okay, someone is making the decision and I'm happy that's not my decision, but I'm staying quiet here because I'm afraid that if I voice my opinion, someone can disagree. And then it gets to the conversation and I would like to avoid it. So I'd rather to go with this wrong path and then trying to hide my opinion than getting into the conversation and then voice your opinion. So that's also very important for me, is that we can have this healthy conversation together, even if we don't agree with the selected option, but we have open conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. We have an open conversation, and we can disagree and be fine with it, right? Great reminders, and a great point about having these metrics in mind as they help us to do a better job as Scrum Masters. So thank you for sharing that, Rafał.
Thank you very much, Vasco.
Part of a successful Scrum Master job is to help the product owner. Tomorrow we explore that critical role in Scrum, the product owner role. Tune in to learn about product owner anti-patterns, what you can do to help the product owner, and a real-life example of what a great product owner is and what made it so. Tomorrow on our Friday Product Owner episode. See you tomorrow. We really hope you liked our show. And if you did, why not rate this podcast on Stitcher or iTunes? Share this podcast and let other Scrum Masters know about this valuable resource for their work. Remember that sharing is caring.